how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. Today we're going to be diving back in with the Wheel of Time mod that has recently just been updated to the latest patch of Bannerlord. It's been a little while since I've seen this mod kind of pop up on Nexus mod, so I'm actually pretty excited that it has gone ahead and been fully updated. I think the last version was like 1 point something. It was a long time ago, so it's cool that the mod is now becoming active again because it has some really cool features. And for someone who has never heard basically anything about the Wheel of Time universe, it's kind of like a nice little inkling into some of the stuff that the the universe does have to offer. So this is a complete overhaul mod, so there's a brand new map, tons of new cultures. I think there's something like 300 new armors in the game, hundreds of new units, and there's like loads of weapons and other things, magic as well. They have a really cool spell shields and they've done a great job of actually showing these off. The monstrous faction is also really cool. As you guys can see, there are tons of new different cultures. They have stated, I don't really know what's happening here. It's like loading like I'm looking at something I shouldn't be in the 90s, but this has tons of really cool cultures, and each of these will start you in different directions. The game also did say as well that depending on what culture you use, you're going to be able to use specific magical items. It's not actually, I think, specifically shown here, which is a bit of a shame. It should be like, oh yeah, if you pick this one you can get it, because again, I'm sure if you maybe know the Wheel of Time universe, you'll understand that. But again, if I pick the White Tower, what does that mean? So here we are on the campaign map, and you guys can get a nice little glimpse of it. Again, the map itself is pretty large. I believe this is using the size of the Calradia map, so the map itself isn't like insanely big, which I kind of like. I think a lot of more mods should try and focus in around this, because it kind of seemingly does just work when it's around the same size as Calradia. The AI kind of does a good job of it, and you can see there are lots and lots of cool custom designs and sprites for a lot of the castles. We'll take a look at a few of them, which I really like. I would like to see, now that the mod is being actively developed again, more kind of detail added in. Lemmy recently like updated a bunch of his textures on his Europe map mod, and I think using something like similar to this would be absolutely awesome, because yeah, the improvements that he's done on his map look great, and I think it would look awesome on this map as well for grass textures, etc. More roads would also, you know, obviously always look good, but there's lots of really cool details of like mine shafts, and again, the settlements look really good. There's a couple of them. I think again, if you know the Wheel of Time, you'll be like, oh yeah, that does look like that settlement, but again, I'm coming in completely blind, so again, I have no idea what I'm looking at. Again, I like these towns as well down here that actually don't specifically have walls. I think that looks really cool. This, of course, right here in the White Tower is really dope. All the bridges coming in looks awesome, and I think that obviously adds a lot to it. And there's a handful of them again as you make your way over here. There's different settlement types for whatever this faction is. It looks kind of an Asian inspired one, so again, looking very cool as you go further and further north. Again, yeah, very nice. I don't think there are actually any custom maps in the mod as of right now, but again, hopefully it's something they can add. And again, I really like these small villages as well. I think that looks quite cool with the palisades around them. Again, that looks, yeah, really cool. Then we make our way out to more of what I assume is the evil faction in the world, the faction looking to take over, because there's always one, right? Yeah, and they're called the Shadow Spawn, for God's sake, so of course these guys are going to be evil. And the Seven Towers sounds like it's going to be one of their main strongholds, and you can see it's all just derelict and looking very nice. So yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of places that you guys would know if you're a big fan of the Wheel of Time. I also as well really like this kind of mountain fortress, so the way the terrain is basically creating like a maze. So if you're an invading army, it's going to be like you are like kind of funneled into these positions, and you're going to have to try your best to fight your way out. Oh, I do take that back actually. I believe I know one thing about the Wheel of Time, and that like this faction off in the desert are basically like the Fremen. They're just like these elite warriors who don't really wear like any armor, and they live out in the desert, and they're just basically, you know, kind of molded by that really harsh environment, which is cool. This is probably one of the, and they're like elite warriors. That's at least one thing I do know. So as I mentioned, there are tons, and I mean tons of new units. It's going to be hard to go through all of them in this mod, but over here we do have the Winged Guard right there. Again, the armors look really nice, and this mod does also have tons of magic in the mod as well, so I believe this is going to be the main main troop line. Does seem like this guy's armor is slightly missing, but obviously as long as that's reported, it's fine. And then you also have the base troop line as well that you guys can see. That's a bit more vanilla. Again, there's not many vanilla-esque units in the game. I will say they have removed pretty much all of it. Again, these warriors here, lightly armored, but I believe they have like insane stats, yeah, compared to everything else. So even the base tier soldiers of the AOL, I think that's how you pronounce it, have 220 athleticism, so they're going to be able to move extremely fast. And again, their units go up very fast. These are going to be the range units, and just, yeah, lots of archers, lots of javelin throws, and you can see these guys have, what, 170 polearm, 170 one-handed, and 310 athleticism. So, yeah, they're going to be able to utilize their speed very effectively, and you can probably do some really cool flanking maneuvers with them. As we make our way across the tier units, again, these guys look like kind of like Victorian swashbucklers more than anything else. Very Spanish-esque right here with the Conquistador armor, and again, you can see that heavy cavalry. Going to be a faction, I imagine, on the field that's going to be a hard one to crack. Lots of cool units. And again, I like how there's like these really like small groups of armies and factions on the map. You know, none of these guys, I believe, yeah, these guys are all their own factions. So again, there's lots of like these small kingdoms that will be able to rise and fall, and I think that'll be a really cool thing. Again, if we make our way over, you can see just how dramatic these guys are compared to, say, their Conquistador allies to the east, right there. You know, they're like very close to each other. So hopefully we'll get like kingdom destruction kind of happening quite rapidly. You can also see as well the type of custom units as well. We've got some of these road Trollocs right here, and again, we'll take a look in battle against the Trolloc factions because they look really cool. And again, we'll just take a look at a couple more of the unit trees right here for some of the factions. I guess we should look at some more of the bigger empires because I imagine they'll have some, yeah, like some really cool units, and you guys will probably know them a little bit more. So again, here you go, some more of the Ilian right here, just kind of like your default medieval faction right here. Heavy armor, like the helmets as well, heavy cavalry as well. They've got some like tier 7 cavalry. That's pretty crazy. Tier 6 cavalry, but again, their stats aren't that crazy. If you take a look at them, like the stats are pretty much like whatever, which again speaks to just how good them warriors are over off into the east of the desert right there. I was going to say I was going to take a look at some of the bigger faction units, but for the most part, there aren't really too many like huge factions in this mod. Besides the evil in the north, I guess this like universe is very much like a lot of warring states, and kind of the evil is forcing them to either join or die. Again, you can see some of the Alatar right here. Again, vanilla-esque units, but still cool nonetheless. We got some Children of the Light here as well in their elite armor right there. I love that breastplate. That looks very, very nice. But again, hopefully you guys are getting a good glimpse of the type of units. Again, stat-wise, these guys don't have any crazy stats. I'm not sure if that's like intentional, but they're supposed to, kind of units are supposed to be like that to kind of really emphasize the more elite soldiers. Again, here we go. Another medieval faction. These guys do have their crossbows and their lancers. We've got some Legions of the Dragon. These guys sound very, very cool. Again, full crossbow line, and also some other bands of the Red Knight as well over off into the left with some cool scale armor on those. As I said, there are honestly just like so many different types of units in this mod, which I think is really, really cool. Again, you guys can take a look at some more of those. Yeah, I think this is a very nice kind of variety of units that this mod does have, and that's going to definitely be one of the pulling points. Let's take a look at one of the kind of, I guess let's take a look at this faction, which looks very like Viking-esque, but it's like also kind of got obviously Asian inspired stuff as well. So these guys like a mix, yeah, like kind of like samurai-esque warriors, which is cool. Yeah, nice. Not a bad roster. A lot of elite cavalry right there. Yeah, tier 6. That's pretty wild. And then finally, I'll show you guys off the roster up here in the Shadow Spire. We'll take a look at some of the very cool monstrous units that this mod does have to offer. So they have, yeah, this is the mage troop line, I guess, for them. And you guys can see some of the stuff that they do have access to. Yeah, the 1 power, large lightning storms, and obviously you can see the different types. There's several different types of magic in this mod. Again, you have the Trollocs right here. Again, I think this was, I remember seeing this many years ago when this mod first came out. And yeah, this was like one of the first times seeing a lot of these very cool monstrous units. And they do look cool, and there's several different variants of them as well. So there's different types of the Trollocs going all the way up to the Devourers as well, with just huge weapons. They've got archers. Again, some really cool units here as well. As I mentioned, in the mod, there are several different types of magic in here, which again is pretty cool. So if we go down to the magic, you can see the different types. So again, you have like long range ones, and you also need ammunition for these as well. You have illuminated sparklers, which is kind of cool. You also have some of these really cool shields, which you can see here. So these shields are basically act as a shield, but it's really cool because it kind of just like this big energy field, which is very cool. So let's dive into a battle now. Again, the mod doesn't really have a lot of content inside of it with regards to like being different from Bannerlord. You know, it's basically like a reskin overhaul at the moment with settlements and the map, etc., with all the cool custom units and armors and magic, but there's not really like any storyline or anything else along that. Oh, look at that. That looks very cool right there. But yeah, there's no like custom quests or anything in the mod quite yet. So hopefully that's something we do add now the mod is being actively developed. But let's dive into a battle so I can show you guys a little bit more about what the mod does have to offer. We found Bannerlord the Bespoken, or the Forsaken. So let's dive in and let's declare war on him. We'll dive into a battle, so it should be a pretty good one. I've grabbed myself basically a bunch of like I've taken troops from all over the world to take a look at them right here. As you can see, people are not happy with us. So if we take a look at some of the units again, you can see them up. I really love these winged guys. They look very cool. We've got a few mages in here as well, so you guys will see the magic, a few of the desert people, and a bunch of cavalry. So let's just dive in and see a nice little battle. You can also see my kind of cool custom shield. I really love the look of this. I think they've done a great job there. Oh, and it does also seem like we do have a custom map here as well. That's also very cool. The magic already kind of popping off. Look at the effects right there. Wow. I don't really know what the hell's going on, but let's set ourselves up here. We'll get our cavalry off to a flank. I also do have magic of my own. So yeah, I also... Oh, that's kind of like a cool effect. Right there, like splits off into several. And I think I have multiple. Oh, and I have a lightning blast as well. So yeah, the particle effect again. I have no idea what's going on here. I think we obviously have some very high tier soldiers as well. You can see the magic going off. Obviously, I think they're casting like lightning bolt. And here they come. The enemy are getting closer and closer. I'm going to throw off as much magic as I can. So I also have those as well. I think this one's going to be obviously... This is like a bit of a shotgun. It doesn't really do much damage. And again, you guys can see some of the other units as well. If we go into photo mode really quickly. So we can just pause it and you guys can take a look. So yeah, these are some of the evil units. I think this is like one of the coolest parts of the mod are these type of units. They look really good. And the mod has done an amazing job with like these beast creatures. And they look awesome. And as I said, the mod has done a great job with those. Back here as well, I also have flag carriers as well, which are cool. And I imagine you can do some cool stuff here with RBM. So let's let the battle fighting. Let's see what some of these units are going to do. I'm also really interested to see how good these guys are as well with their longbows, how fast they shoot. As the magic really is just erupting now. Both sides are just fighting. Obviously just fire off our magic as well. Close range right there. Yeah, this is like a very close range where you got some more of their elite cavalry there as well. So far, though, my infantry are cutting them down. My mix of like elite units you guys can see in battle, the winged warriors, lots of two-handed warriors, able just to do a lot of damage right there. You can already see as well just how effectively our units are moving in there as well. Like our desert people are moving very fast. You can also see as well though, like this guy right here is not really taking any damage from my magic. So I'm not sure if there's like, yeah, I'm not sure if there's like any custom magic set up. You compare that to like hitting one of these Trollocs with my magic. So if I hit this guy with my magic, you can see he gets absolutely ruined by it. So it must be some sort of magical resistance. Like, yeah, these wraiths seem like they are very deadly. Have a lot of custom magic resistance, and basically they carry the entire battle. So I imagine you're going to need like a handful of these units in your army to win. Because yeah, you can see just how much damage we do there, and we're going to go down now as well. Yeah, they look very strong. Very strong indeed. And as I said, there are tons of different types of units, so hopefully this is just giving you a good idea about what this mod does have to offer. As I mentioned, there's not really a lot of content outside of the cool custom units and the map setup and the magic, etc. You know, you are going to be just diving into this world and immersing yourself and just playing a part in the world. However, I think that is plenty of content content to have fun with. As I said, it works in the latest patch of Bannerlord, so you can dive in, and they are planning on actively updating this. So do go and check out the mod, go show some love, go support them. I'll leave a link to their mod over on Nexus Mods down below in the description. And let me know, again, let me know a bit more about the lore down below in the comments. I'd always be interested in finding out a little bit more. Let me know how much I got wrong when I said something, but Jackie, you're an absolute moron. And I'll see you guys in the next one.